Hi, and welcome to Talkin with Felicia. My name is Felisha Tamika Sheppard, and on today's show, we're going to be talking to Anthony Michaelides, who is the Executive Director of the Career Service at College of the Canyons. Anthony, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming to talk with Felicia, and I know you have a lot of good information to talk to us about. First, I would like to talk about the Career Service and what it does for the community and for the students.
Well, first of all, we do a number of things that have to do with career preparation. We cover basically two areas. That's job placement, and we assist the community members and students at the college in looking for work. That includes resumes and interviewing, the whole process. And also we do career exploration. And that is anyone looking.
Well, how long have you been there? How long have you been working there?
I've been with the college for 5 years, and a little over 5 years now, and I've been in the field for over 10 years.
Now, the college has seen so much growth, which is really fabulous. So what particular services do you offer for your students? 'Cause I also know, which I love, is that College of the Canyons offer those same services to the community free. That is excellent. Yes. How did you guys manage that, and what services do you offer?
Well, first of all, being a community college, of course, we are there to serve the community. So, you know, our students that enroll, of course, are our clients, but the community becomes our service area as well. And community members can walk in, and that exactly as you said, at no cost, and take advantage of the services. And as far as, again, services, we offer resume assistance. We can sit down with you and actually put together a resume.
So someone right off the street can come in and say, hey, here's my resume, can you help me?
You got it.
And you just help them fix their resume, and that's no cost?
Yes, yes. If you have an existing one or need to create your first one ever.
Now, does your office do like career fairs?
Yes, we do. Actually, if you want to jot down this date, April the 18th is our next job fair.
Here's the plug, April 18th, Career Fair, College of the Canyons.
11 to 3 at the college campus. And we're expecting over 100 employers there. This is a large-scale career fair. It's not a small room that you're going to, work the crowd. It's going to be a huge event.
So tell me, what type of companies come to the career fair?
Well, I like to categorize them because we have, again, over 100. We have a lot of law enforcement. We get LAPD and LA Fire and Sheriff's Department and so on. We get a lot of hospitals, a lot of medical, Antelope Valley Hospital and Kaiser and Providence Holy Cross. We get a lot of financial insurance companies, Mercury Insurance and Countrywide, and but a variety of everything, a lot of different categories, manufacturing, business, management.
You know, I've been to a lot of job fairs, and I have realized that sometimes these companies, they're not actually hiring, they're just filling a quota. Now, I know you don't really have, knowledge of that, but are some of them really hiring? Because when you go to job fair, you're looking for a job. You're not looking for someone to say, oh, I'm taking applications. Because I know now, job fairs now, they don't even take applications. You come with 50, 60 applications. Oh, here, just go on our website.
Right, exactly. And that is, it's becoming more common as companies are moving more toward.
So why have a job fair? Why come if you can tell me to go on your website? I can do that already.
Well, let me tell you. First of all, every company that you're going to meet at our job fair, we ask them a question, and that is, what job openings do you have? So we're doing kind of an initial screening. Every company there will post on our website, and that'd be a good place to visit. I think it'll show on the screen at some point, but you'll want to come to our website. We list all the companies that are coming.
So is that already on the website?
Yeah, okay. It's a list we keep adding to, and so it's I think we're up over 90 already, and we still have some recruiting time left for employers, but it'll tell the name of the company and what they're recruiting for. So it says right there what positions they're offering. When you go to the job fair, then you can actually go prepared with knowing what that company's offering. You can target companies.
But let me ask you this, like, College of the Canyons is a 2-year college.
Right.
So when you graduate from there, you graduate with an associate. So what if someone has a bachelor's or a master's? Are these companies hiring for that type of level of employment, or in most of these jobs, entry level?
Right, well, good question, because most of the companies, I think, are thinking community college,
thinking
2-year degree
level.
or certificate training, that type of thing, entry level. However, we make it a point to let them know we are open to the public, and because we advertise San Fernando Valley, Antelope Valley, and all surrounding areas in the newspaper, we do get a good mix of candidates coming in, and the companies know that. And I think when they come here initially, they're looking for sales associates, let's say, and then someone comes along with an MBA degree, and they say, hey, we have management also. You look like a good candidate. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone, I think.
Really? What about temporary agencies? Are there any temporary agencies that come here?
Yes, there is. Yes, temporary agencies enjoy coming to the job fair. They usually walk away with a stack of resumes. They're looking to help people to find jobs, basically.
I have mixed feelings about temporary agencies, and the reason is because when you're looking for a job, you're looking for something right now. And in a temporary agency, you go into a temporary agency, you fill out the paperwork, and you are there for like 2 to 3 hours with all of this paperwork they want you to fill out. Right. And then, you have to call them every day. And sometimes I think that most of these temporary agencies, they go, so they have like a stack of, an arsenal of people, so when they do have companies, they don't always have jobs. Right. So is a temporary agency something good to be at a job fair when you're looking for, mostly people are looking for a full-time job, and then there's a temporary agency, and then you go through a huge process that even if you've got a regular job, you don't go to 3 hours of all the paperwork you need to fill out.
Right.
I'm not saying there's a bad thing, because there have been times that I have worked at temporary agencies. Right. All I'm saying is that the process with a temporary agency and being at a career fair is it a plus for the community or for the students? That's what I think.
And I'm going to take more of a global approach to this one, because I've been working in
I don't want to pigeonhole you.
Well, it really is a good question. I've been in the industry long enough to hear the good stories and the bad stories. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about employment agencies or staffing agencies, there are a lot of different names. Their job is to find people work. Mm-hmm. That's how they make their money. Yeah. And I believe that. And I believe that they're going to try to help you to find work. And because of that, if you're unemployed and you're looking for work, you need to apply at the employment agencies, because they're going to help you to look for work. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you stop looking for work, because that's your job to keep looking and to keep busy. But you're going to have this opportunity now for someone else to be looking too. And I usually tell someone, if you got 2 or 3 hours on your hands, go down, apply, and then you can just forget about it, right? Yeah, you register with them, and the agencies probably wouldn't want this promoted because they want you to work directly with them. But I tell students to go apply at 4 or 5. Exactly. Because you got nothing to lose, and then you got 4 or 5 places trying to find you a job. And when they find you a good job, you're going to shake their hand and thank them.
What I also know about temporary agencies is that, say they send you on a temporary job, mm-hmm. and this job is actually hiring, they have a deal with the company that they can't hire you for up to like 30 days or even 6 months. Right. And if the company really wants to hire you, then they have to go to, if the company has had really good business with temporary agencies, I'm going to buy this person out from you. I want to hire them full time. Right. Which sometimes, if they don't want to pay the agency the money that they owe for that person, sometimes you lose that job because the agency is thinking about money and not thinking about you and a job. Right. So how should people feel about that? If you're all in money and I need a job, that doesn't make any sense.
When you go into the relationship with the agency, or when you get the job offer or get mm-hmm. set up for that interview with that company, you want to be sure that they're clear about the setup there, mm-hmm. because there are different types of positions. There's temp to perm, mm-hmm. there's long-term temporary, there's permanent placement, mm-hmm. and you want to make sure you know what you're getting into. If they say a temporary position, it's over. It's temporary, right? Temporary. 2 months, 3 months,
That's
6 months.
Clear,
long-term temp could be 6 months, could be 9 months, and then you have temp to perm. And I know a lot of people who have ended up mm-hmm. getting that permanent position,
a permanent job,
and they've thanked us left and right for introducing them to that agency. So.
It's funny you say we have temp to perm. Do you know a lot of companies are hiring temporaries? And you can be there for a year, 2 mm-hmm. years, just as a temp. Right. Because it saves some money, especially when it comes to benefits. And that seems to be ridiculously wrong. How can you have somebody for over 6 months to a year and not offer them a job because you want to save some money? That seems to be unfair.
Well, again, with a company, you're talking bottom line, you're talking money.
Yeah, it's all about money.
This is a chance for them to try you out, although, like you said, it sounds a little ridiculous to say we got to try them out for 2 years and see if they're good.
2 years, I should be able to do the job.
They might have proved themselves by then. But yeah, it's somewhat, I wouldn't say it's the norm or anything, but there are a lot of companies out there that are doing it.
There's a lot of companies out there. There's definitely a lot of companies out there, and I had heard that what they're trying to do is a lot of people in that same position, they're trying to say, wait a minute, we have to tell jobs. Someone can only work for you a year and then you need to hire them. Right. You cannot just keep them like that because, they have a life, they have family, you can't just keep them on hold like that without any benefits. That is just not fair.
Yeah. There are some companies that actually have guidelines that say not more than a year, it can be temporary for a year and then they have to do something with you.
Exactly, because sometimes someone can sit in that chair and be a temporary employee for 6 months, and then they'll go and hire somebody right underneath you, and you're like, was I not sitting here doing the job already for a year? Mm-hmm. And then you ask yourself, are they paying the person less money or something about myself? And in some cases, it may not be nothing that you've done. It's just they just hired somebody from underneath
that's
you.
That's their process sometimes.
I know. And you know what's so funny? I never understand is companies want you to work with them, give them a 2 weeks notice. They want you want me to give you a 2 weeks notice, but you can fire me at will anytime you want. You know, I don't think I can give you a 2 weeks notice because if I got another job going to willing to pay me some more money, you know what? I'm going to leave today because I'm going to start on Monday at a new job. You know, and you feel bad, but it's like they don't care about you, so why should I invest in myself and you when you don't care about me? Because something happened, I'm going to be the first one to go.
That's, well, you know, and there's a lot of rules out there. You know, there's a lot of rules. There's the etiquette. There's the professionalism. You have to give them the 2 week notice. You know, and they can do what they want, right? And they're in control.
I can't afford to make less money anymore. I have to move on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if you have to give a 1 week, and you know, if you explain it and you're in good terms with them, you know, make sure that it's okay with them and that type of thing. But you know, I've seen it done.
Etiquette when it comes along to getting a job and what you need to do and networking. So let me know. Do you recommend internships?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. In fact, at the college, we have an extensive internship program.
I know. Yeah, it's a wonderful program you have over there.
Yeah, lots of paid, non-paid interns, and it's basically a good chance for the candidate to get some experience, to get out there, try something out. It's the perfect temporary position because you try it out and see if you like it.
But that's one that's not getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Do some of your interns pay?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, when I was in college, I had an intern, and I liked it. You know, it was a marketing intern, but I didn't really learn anything. I got a lot of coffee.
Yeah,
a lot of coffee, and I always said, you know, it could have been such a better experience if I wasn't just a gopher, you know. And now I know most schools have people monitoring the jobs, making sure they're actually learning in jobs, and not just being a gopher. Because it's sad, you know, you spend 4 years in school, and you don't really have experience, so you really need that internship experience, and you're being a gopher. I know that's not a part of what the career service do, but do you know that if you guys keep up on top of these internships, are these people being watched and you're not being a gopher? I mean, I know that's not your department, but from what your little knowledge.
My understanding, the internship program at the college, first of all, they do check out the sites. Obviously, go to the site, make sure that it's a good working condition, a good experience. And the internship is set up on based on goals. And they will set goals with the employer when they get there so that they're working toward this goal on a regular basis.
Oh, that's good.
So, and they're actually writing up some assignments on it as well. So it's a learning process.
So let me ask you this. What happens if you went to high school, got a high school diploma, and then you didn't have any summer jobs, and then you went to college and you didn't really do any interns, and then you went to graduate school and you got your master's and you have no experience? What do you tell a student? And they come in and say, you know, I'm looking for a job and I have my master's or I have my bachelor's and I don't really have any experience because I focused so much on just schoolwork that I didn't get an internship, I didn't work in the summertime. Where are they supposed to get a job? What do you tell them?
Part of this is going to depend on if they've worked before. And I have a story I like to tell about McDonald's.
Okay.
I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
So I had a student who worked at McDonald's. Actually, they come in and they said, I don't have any previous work experience that I want to put on my resume. And I'm applying for this job, and they're looking for experience.
Yeah, how do you make a resume if you have an experience?
Yeah, and I said, what do you got? And they said, I've worked at McDonald's, you know, as the fry cook. I don't want to put that on my resume. And I said, well, you know.
Don't want to be labeled.
Yeah, I said, let's play around with this a little bit, though. I said, what are some of the things that you did? And he said, well, I set the machine, I had to get up to a certain temperature, I had to, you know, and he kind of started giving the duties. Well, it turned out also that he was a team shift leader on his shift. And, you know, he just was thinking McDonald's, he didn't want to put it on there. Thinking there was this, you know, stigma or something. Yeah. And I said, no, shift leader, right? And then turns out the guy had the keys too. They let him lock up at night. So I said, good responsibility. I said, did you ever work the cash register? He said, yes. I said, customer service, money handling experience. And we just started racking up this experience from McDonald's. And we built a pretty nice looking resume. In addition to that job, those duties and those skills that the person had, we added on to that the training and the schooling that they had received as well. And we combined the two, and this person looked pretty qualified for a job in business.
So you found something that you didn't really think that was there.
And everyone has skills like that. And that's
but what if they had no job? They said, you know, Anthony, I have no job.
Okay.
and I have my master's. What do I do?
And again, each situation will be different depending what the field is. But I would sit with the person and I would talk about the coursework that they took. I'd ask if there were any labs, any assignments where they actually had to go out there and do something hands-on, which in most cases you're out there doing projects and stuff.
So you manipulate the English language to make a resume.
You got it. No, we work with what experience they have. And in fact, just quick story, I worked at ITT Technical Institute, and our technicians would go through a 2-year program, they'd finish, and at the end I'd say, what experience do you have so you can go out there and sell yourself now? And they'd say, I don't have anything because I just went to school.
Yeah.
And it was that idea that they had no experience. And I said, you've done 10 hours a week of lab for the last 2 years. What did you do in the lab? And they said, well, I used the test equipment. I go, okay. So you used the test equipment. You didn't learn it from the book. You actually did it, right? So let's put on your resume that you know how to operate the test equipment.
You're a really good listener.
Yeah, it was, but that's the thing. Most people have a block that you have to get past. And just by questioning, and that's what our staff is trained to do. We're trying to get out of you the things that are locked inside and get them onto the paper so we can get them set up on that resume.
Now, how many resumes should a person have?
Definitely not one. And so if anyone's walking around with one resume, I would say they want to come in and visit us.
Come into the career service. It's open to the public Monday through Friday.
Excellent. Right? Yeah, that one generic resume, and just to I'm going to kind of make this scenario up, but if you walk out there with that generic resume and drop it off at 5 different companies, you're never going to be a perfect fit. Each company is going to read it and say, you've got some great background, but I don't see exactly what we're looking for.
I learned a trick. I've learned a very big trick. When you are looking for a job, when you see the job description, and by the way, I got this from you, see the job description, you want to use what the words that they use in their description and put that description in your resume as it fits in between the jobs that you've had. Because a lot of what the wording they use, they want to see their word back. If they say they want customer service, they want to see customer service. They don't want to see guest service. They want to see customer service. Am I right?
Yeah, you're exactly
I learned that
right.
from you.
You're exactly right.
So tell me, what are the 3 biggest things that people do wrong on their resumes? What are the things that just hurt them really bad?
Well,
lying.
Probably, yeah, definitely. You got one of them already. Don't lie. We talk about customizing the resume to fit the job description. Don't put anything on there, obviously, that you're not supposed to.
I know.
If you can't do it, don't put it on, or put what degree.
English is so vast. You can use so many different words to explain something. I love that.
This may contradict the word out there in terms of employers, but I would say that you don't want to limit yourself to 1 page. If you have more than 1 page of good information, and that's common
How do you do that?
knowledge out there that I always heard it for years.
1 page, 1 page.
Yeah, keep it to 1 page, keep it to 1 page.
And you can't. Even if you make the font at size 8, you can't.
I had a guy come in one time and he said, he was an elderly gentleman that came in with years experience, and he said, yeah, I got it all on 1 page. And I looked at it, what did he get all on 1 page? Well, the margins were 1/2 inch. The font was probably 7 or 8. I couldn't read it. And first of all, as an employer, I'm not going to look at this.
I'm going to do like
I'm going to
this.
throw it in the trash.
Okay.
And then secondly, I asked him, more importantly, is what'd you leave off? What did you cut off that could be important? And so I suggested that he go back to 11 font, make it 2 pages.
Is 11
make those
standard?
12 is standard.
That's what I thought.
And in his case, he had a lot of information I knew he was going to add back on. I said, think hard about what you deleted, put it back on, and you work with us, and we'll work with you to see what's important for that industry. And we ended up with a 2-page resume that looked really nice when we finished, that was readable, that an employer would want to read. And in that case, don't try to squeeze it all on 1 page if it's not going to fit.
This is the big burning question. A lot of companies always ask for your salary requirements. They want to know how much you made at your last job, and you're thinking, it doesn't matter what I made at my last job, because I don't want to make that at my new job. But when you sit down with an employer and they want a salary requirement, what do? Do you put yourself at top? Because I would think, if I want to make $50,000, I'm going to put 55 because I know they're probably going to cut me down to like 45. Right. But I know 45 would be okay because, I want that and I need that, but you start high and go low. Right. So how do you do that? Do you put that on your resume? Do you not put it on your resume? Because I know I've had people who say, I put it on my resume because if you're not going to pay me at least $45,000, don't call me.
Okay, good.
You know that whole thing. I don't call you, you don't call me.
Right,
So
right.
you know your budget. I need to make 45,000. So I'm going to put that on because I don't want them to call me. So how do you approach that?
That's important.
You don't want to knock yourself out the market, but you don't want to make 30 if you want 45 if you need that to survive.
Right. Couple tips on that. First of all, you keep mentioning that amount that you need to know you can survive on, and that's important to kind of go through a little exercise before you start looking for work. Figure out what your minimum salaries. The lowest
minimum?
I can go to survive. $15 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever it is. Get that number and kind of lock it in your head, because when you get to negotiating with employers, you have to know the absolute lowest you can go, so that when they go below it, there's nothing you can do. You don't need to go home and think about it and waste any time. You can tell them that's it. Anything above that obviously is a good deal, right? But general rule about salaries, you're not supposed to bring it up until the employer does.
So the employer needs to bring it up first.
Yeah, and that would
The employer should bring it up first. Don't mention it if you want a good job.
Don't, and I'll tell you why. There's a reason, and I understand. Your reasoning is, if you put it on there, then they won't bother you if it's less than that. So you're kind of saving everyone time by letting them know up front. Yeah, I don't want to waste your time. I'm looking for 45,000. If you can't offer that, don't call me. The course of the interview, the purpose of the interview is to get an offer. And if I were to bring up money at the very beginning of the interview, when we just started talking, and I said, so I don't waste any time with you, I just want to let you know I need 45,000. That employer's going to look at you and say, I'm going to pay you 45,000? Why? Right? So already you're starting off on the wrong foot.
But you want to know, I don't want to sit here for an hour and know that the job is only paying 30.
Okay.
So what do you do then?
The challenge of the interview, again, is to get that offer, and to get the offer at the level that you think you're worth. So the interview is set up so that you're actually gaining more money, you're building your momentum, you're making yourself valuable by answering the questions.
Okay.
So if I ask for money up front, I have no leverage at all. If I go through the course of the interview, I can make them want me. Now I can ask for 45,000 at the end because they know what I'm worth. They know what experience I have, they know my education, and I can actually ask for 45 and maybe be in the ballpark. Whereas at the beginning, they have nothing to consider. And so 45 is way too high. So that interview, it's one of those things, you got to go there and you got to sell yourself, and if you do a good job, they might just pay you what you're worth.
So what are the things that when someone gets an interview that they mess up? What are the 3 things that people normally do wrong when they get an interview?
Unprepared. Interviewing is something you definitely need to practice. There are answers you need to practice. There are questions you need to practice.
Oh, I know one of those questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Yeah, well,
and then you say, I had an interview this years ago. Where do I see myself in 5 years from now? Oh, I'd like to own my own business eventually. And she says, what, you don't like working for people? I'm thinking, you asked me when I see myself 5 years now. You want me to say, see myself 5 years? So what do you say when someone says that?
I'll tell you a couple things not to say.
That I'm going to see myself
I'm going to start my own business.
This company.
Yeah, well, and as an employer, if I say, where do you see yourself 5 years or 10 years from now, or what are your future goals? And you say, I want to start my own business. In my mind, the red flag goes up and I say, when are you leaving me to start your own business? And that's the first thing that comes to mind. Oh, you're going to start your own business.
Pie in the sky.
Good luck. But I don't want to train you and put the time into it if you're going to leave me and start your own business.
So what do you say?
Okay. I'll tell you, this is actually some of my secrets. But
okay, tell my audience to say. They want to know.
Right?
They want a job. They want to know what to say.
An employer, think in terms of why the employer is asking that question. Why would the employer ask what your future goals are? What do they care about? There's 2 real important things.
They care about investing money, how much money they want to invest in me. So I want to know where I want to be at.
Right. So are you going to stay? That's what I'm after. I ask that question when I interview candidates, and I'm telling them the answer right now. but I want to know if you're staying. I don't care if whether it be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, future goals, long term, short term. I want to know if you're going to stay here.
Well, if we get an interview and I find out how much money I'm making, I may stay.
You might stay, exactly. Part of your answer, because of that reasoning, part of your answer has to be, I want to be working here at this company.
Oh, so you
5 years from now, 10 years from now,
so you never want to say what
20
your
years from now. My goal is I want to be working here at this company. The employer will smile, and I want to grow. That's the second part of it.
You want to stay and grow with the company.
I want to stay and I want to grow, and they may have second question because they might want to see how legitimate this is and say, well, what do you mean grow? What are you thinking? And so, well, I want to move up to management or supervisory or something like that.
Never say you want to be CEO that quickly.
Yeah. Back in the late 90s when the economy was booming, you could say, I want to be sitting in your chair, and they would love it. They'd go, that's the ambition we're looking for.
Now, they don't want to hire you. They're threatened.
You threaten their jobs, so you got to be careful how ambitious you get. But
this seems to be like such a rat race just to get a job.
It's a lot of strategy. It's surprising how much strategy is involved, and you know, that's one of the things I enjoy doing when I sit down with someone, and you know, we've got staff that could do the same thing. Sit down and work through the strategy and get you prepared. Make sure you're ready to go out there and really not only just tell about yourself, but actually market yourself.
That's what you're a product, and you have to market yourself.
That's right.
So, you know what, from your point of view, what does the current job market look like now?
Well, you know, unemployment rates.
You know, I want to do that at two-part before you answer that. I want.
Sure.
What does it look like for someone who is at a master's level, someone who's at a bachelor's level, and someone who just has a diploma? That's like a three-part question, because the current job market looks different from people from the educational background.
Right.
Looks different from all three of those backgrounds.
Right. Right. And kind of a broader answer of both of the whole picture is. There's going to be positions at all three levels.
Yes.
The higher pay, what you just described is 3 levels of pay.
Yeah.
Where you're probably going to get, and you know, the statistics show that with the higher level of your degree, the more money you're going to make in your lifetime.
That's what they tell you.
That's what they tell you.
We don't know if that's true, but
well,
that's what they tell us.
You know, I couldn't name the studies or anything, but it's been shown more than once that that's going to make, you know, your overall over your lifetime you're going to earn more with a PhD than you would with a high school diploma. Now there are going to probably be exceptions to that. Certain industries pay well with a certificate. You don't need the big degree. Some of them they train. Yeah.
Being here in California, entertainment pays well, and you know, all you have to have you don't even have a high school diploma.
Right.
Well, we paid very well.
We offer a lot of vocational programs at the college that are just, you know, a training program. You know, it's not even a full year two degree or 2-year degree, and you can get trained and make a lot of money. So.
You know what? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really think that you came here and you enlightened my audience. I want to thank you once again for coming. We learned about salaries and what to say and what not to say. And you know, it's tough out there trying to get a job. It really is. But I want everybody to know, just keep trying, keep pushing, pray on it, come to the career services. The people there, his staff is fabulous. They all do a good job with your resume. You drop it off and you'll get a call back in a couple of days and your resume is done. The career fair is coming up in April. So spend the time and do what he said, especially having more than one resume. You know, you're the product. You know, we all know when you see businesses out there, Coca-Cola and Pepsi and Dell, and you see how they advertise themselves. They want to put themselves everywhere so everybody can see them. And that's how you're going to get a job. You're going to get a job by putting yourself out there for everyone to see. And, you know, it's a long time. It's a hard process. And sometimes you may have to go, you know, I may have to take this entry job, and you may have to work another side job, some side hustle, just to make some money, so that if you get your foot in the door, you can grow. And, you know, we didn't say it before, but a temporary agency in some companies could be a foot in the door. So whatever you do, just work hard and pray on it. Thank you once again for coming to Talking to Felicia, and thank you for watching Talking with Felicia. I also want to say, check on their website. Say your website.
It's www.canyons.edu, and then you got the / with Career Center.
www.canyons.edu/career centers. If you want any information on Talking with Felicia, you can see me at www.talkingwithfelicia@aol.com. See you next time on Talking with Felicia. Thank you. Good job.